The Splatoon 3 Splatfest world premiere happened recently, and now that I've played the game for myself, I have a lot of thoughts that I want to share. There's been a lot of discussion online recently about Splatoon 3, and whether or not it's doing enough to earn the number 3 in the title. So after the big info dump we got from the Direct, and since I've played a couple hours of multiplayer thanks to the Splatfest, I figured it's a good time to give my early impressions. Now obviously I haven't played the full game, so I'll save my final judgments for when it actually releases, and I'll probably do a proper review a few weeks after launch. This will just be my unstructured thoughts and what I'm thinking, with some gameplay that I got with my time from the demo. Let's get into it. It's been an interesting journey for the Nintendo community leading up to Splatoon 3. Right from the moment it was announced, people have been debating if we really need another Splatoon game on Switch. Now I'm a pretty massive Splatoon fan myself, so I was always in the camp that more Splatoon is nothing but a good thing. But the more trailers I saw, it did start to kind of look like just more of the same. That Salmon Run trailer especially didn't do a great job at showing off what makes this game unique. All these debates about the nature of sequels and the amount of new content started to make me tune out Splatoon discussion for a while. There were just too many opinions flying around all over the place, and it felt like I couldn't even think for myself. And while I liked a lot of the info in the Splatoon Direct and found it pretty exciting, I was still having trouble figuring out what I actually thought about this game. I was expecting to go into the Splatfest demo with a critical viewpoint, and really try to gauge how fresh this new entry feels. But the second I turned on the demo, the YouTube critic in me was overpowered by the Splatoon fan part of myself. Holy crap, look at that new loading screen. Oh my gosh, these new hairstyles are amazing. Look at that new animation for the Inkling walking. Man, this squid roll is going to be a game changer. This is the greatest hub world I've ever seen. I wasn't even trying to form opinions, I was just enjoying all the new stuff that got me super excited. While it might not seem like there's very much to separate Splatoon 3 from Splatoon 2 on the surface, all the small changes add up to create a much smoother and more enjoyable experience that feels like a new game to me. I mean, we've got 3 new idols with amazing new music, 2 new weapon types with the Stringer and Splatana, new movement options with the Squid Roll and Squid Surge, new maps, a new way to launch onto the battlefield, a brand new massive hub world to explore, and tons of quality of life updates that make online play so much better. Not having to stare at a loading screen of player names and instead having a full practice range where you can run around and test out weapons is a huge improvement. And all of that is just from the demo. In the full game there will be a brand new single-player story that's apparently the epic finale to the plotline so far, new cosmetic items including a brand new shop where you can buy stuff for your customizable locker, and this super cool sidecard minigame thing. Plus a huge part of what makes Splatoon 3 so great is that it's totally re-energized the Splatoon community, with new Splatfests to take part in, maps to get used to, weapons to master, and friends to play with. It hasn't been that long since the Splatfests ended in Splatoon 2, but it just feels so good to take part in these giant celebrations again. Basically what I'm trying to say with all this is that now that I've played Splatoon 3, it feels like it does more than enough to be a full sequel to me personally. I think your opinion on this game probably comes down to how big of a Splatoon fan you are, and while it's unfortunate that this game couldn't do more to appeal to the more casual audience out there, it's still just so exciting for everyone else. If you don't think Splatoon 3 does enough to prove its worth, that's totally okay. But I encourage all of you to give the game a shot and try just enjoying it for what it offers. I think there's hours and hours of fun to get out of this game, and I wouldn't want anyone to miss out on that. But also if you really just don't think you'll enjoy it, that's cool too. Not everything is going to be for everyone, and that's okay. All this talking and I haven't even discussed the actual Splatfest demo yet, so let's get into that. I chose Team Scissors, mostly because it's the team that Big Man is on. And sadly my team did not win. Cheer up Team Big Man, we'll get him next time. I actually like all 3 idols though. Yes, even Fry. It's pretty funny to see the same forehead debate that happened with Pearl happening all over again. I was caught off guard by the new idols too, but over time they've already grown on me and I like them quite a bit. The actual Turf War matches have been a lot of fun. Although I always manage to get a 10 times battle right when I'm trying out a new weapon I'm unfamiliar with. But me and my team did manage to win this 100 times battle, but just barely. The general movement feels even more smooth and satisfying in this game, which is impressive considering how good it already felt in Splatoon 2. I'm still getting used to the Squid Roll and Surge, but once I start using them consistently I'm sure they'll come in handy. The animations overall have been improved a lot. It's so interesting to look back at the original and compare it to this one. The models for the Inklings and Octolings have also been changed, and now they look slightly older and more mature, which I really like. Splatsville is the new hub world, which I really love. I always liked the original Splatoon's hub area better than the second game, as it was much bigger and felt more spacious. But I also like how urban and city-like Inkopolis Square felt, and the new hub world feels like the perfect mix between the two. It still has that urban feel of buildings towering over you, but it's also a lot more open with more to explore. I especially love how there's some verticality to it, where you can climb up higher to get a better view. This is easily my favorite hub area of any Splatoon game, and I'm excited to get more familiar with it in the full game. The Splatfests in this game have a totally different feel than past games. They feel much more like a festival rather than a pop concert. I love this new direction, and it helps give the game its own identity. The two new weapons, the Stringer and Splatana, are awesome new additions to the roster. I'm not very good at using the Stringer yet, but I'm never very good at long-range weapons, so it's probably just me. I already really like the Splatana. It's a cool mix between a brush and a roller. I doubt it'll end up being my main weapon for ranked mode, but I think I'll use it pretty consistently in Turf War because it's just so much fun to use. I really love the new way you launch onto the map at the beginning of matches and when you respawn. It gives the gameplay even more energy and momentum. And the new emotes for the end screen are a great addition too. Overall, I'm impressed with how new this game feels to me. I'm not sure if it'll feel this way to someone who only put 20 hours into Splatoon 2, but coming from someone who put nearly 200 hours into the second game, it really feels different and exciting. Maybe that will wear off over time, but it's how I feel right now. It's also so fantastic to get a whole new batch of Splatoon music. I seriously can't put into words how much I love the music of Splatoon. The new songs have a really interesting vibe to them, and I'm already a huge fan of Deep Cut. Tricolor Turf War was a really interesting new way to play Splatoon, and it totally changed up the dynamics of battle. I really hope in the future they add this mode into the normal ranked modes, and don't restrict it to Splatfests forever. I can easily see myself pouring an insane amount of hours into this game once it comes out. I don't know if I'll end up playing it more than the second, but I seriously might. The quality of life changes like being able to practice while waiting for a game are a huge deal that will make me more likely to keep playing over time. I'll have to wait for the full game to dive into the rest of what this game has to offer, but based on the limited time I had with the demo, the multiplayer is shaping up to be a big improvement, and the best the series has ever been. I know this video probably came off like the ramblings of a fanboy defending a game he likes, but this is the way I'm feeling right now. I can totally understand why so many people are feeling disappointed by this game, but for me I'm nothing but excited for everything it's going to be. I honestly don't know how everyone else is feeling after playing this demo. It's possible that I'm one of the few who loved it so much. Now that the Splatfest is over, I really want to get back into the game and play more, and that's a sign that Splatoon 3 just works for me. I think the single player story will be the last big feature that either fully completes this game or leaves me wanting more. The Octo expansion was incredible, so I'm hoping this one can get even close to those heights. And that's pretty much all the thoughts I have on Splatoon 3 so far. Go down to the comments and tell me what you think. Is Splatoon 3 doing enough for you to get excited? I would say that I'm going to go back to playing Splatoon 3 now, but I sadly have to wait a few more weeks before that can happen. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see ya in the next one.